Very good morning, students. Welcome to my online classes. Myself, Mr. Pravin Bhoir from Dharavi TC Municipal English School number 2, and the thought for today is in front of you. So, will you please read this thought? The key to success is to focus on goals, not obstacles. So, everyone wish to become successful in our life, and according to that, we do many efforts to get success. But sometimes what happen, due to some reasons, we get failure and we get upset. We never try to achieve the same thing again. We lose our hopes, and that becomes our big mistake. We all know Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, who was the founder of Hindavi Swaraj. So Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj faced lot of mm, obstacles in his life while founding Swaraj, but always he overcome all problems because he focused on his goals, not on obstacles. So become successful. If you have to become successful, you always focus on your goals, not on obstacles. So this is the thought for today. And before starting our session, I would like to ask you one small question. So can you tell me which are the three main types of tenses? Which are the three main types of tenses? Answer is in front of you only. You have to just read that three types. Okay. The three main types of tenses are past tense, present tense, and future tense. Past tense, present tense, and future tense. So these are the main three types of tenses, and we have learned about these all three types of tenses as well as their subtypes. So now we will move to the next slide. Will you read this slide, please? Can you see this slide? Am I audible to everyone? Okay, no problem. I read it. Kabir, watch the movie. Kabir, watch the movie. And the second sentence is the movie was watched by Kabir. First sentence is Kabir watched the movie, and the second sentence is the movie was watched by Kabir. Actually, both sentences are having the same meaning. First sentence, in first sentence, Kabir watch movie, and in the second sentence also the meaning is same, but in the first sentence the more attention is given to the subject. Why? Because in this sentence, Kabir, this Kabir is subject, watch is verb, and the movie is object. And in the second sentence, the movie was watched by Kabir. In this sentence, the more focus is given on object. So these both sentences are having different types. Means the first sentence is in active voice and the second sentence is in passive voice. So since from last two sessions we are learning about the types of tense and its active voice and passive voice. So today we are going to learn change the voice of these given three subtypes of tenses. First one is present perfect tense. Second one is past perfect tense. Third one is future perfect tense. Okay. So before starting this actual examples, I would like to show you the helping verbs of present tense, past tense, and future tense. So, in the present tense, we use am, is, are, have, has. This helping verbs we are using as a helping verbs or auxiliary verbs in the present tense. Then, in the past tense, your helping verbs are was, were, and had. These three words are used as a helping verb in the past tense, and in the future tense will be and shall be. These two words are used as a helping verb, and these helping verbs are playing a very important role in your tenses as well as active and passive voice. Whenever we have to convert your sentence from active voice to passive voice, that time we have to consider this all helping verbs, and by this helping verbs only we are going to convert your sentence from active to passive voice. Then the second important thing that is usually we use in active and passive voice, that is your verb and their forms. Means the first form, actually these all things we have learned in the earlier sessions also. So we will just recall these all things. So first form, suppose your first form is call and we have to convert this call into third form. Just forget about second form. We have to convert this call into third form, means we have to convert this into past participle. So it will be called. Means in first form, call. In the second form, your call will be called. In third form or in the past participle, it will be called. Call, called, called. Then next word is play, played, played. Put, put, put. Means this word remains same in the all three forms. Then cut, cut, cut. Cut also remains same in the all three forms. Then sell, sold, sold. Fall, fell, fallen. Eat, ate, eaten. And write, wrote, written. Means just observe this all verbs and their second form and third form. In the first two words, we have just attached ed to the main verb and we converted in it past participle. But some verbs never change in the third form also, in the second form also. That two words I have given, that is put and cut. And some words totally change, means like sell, sold, sold, fall, fell, fallen, or eat, ate, eaten, write, wrote, written. So these are some examples of verb that we change into their third form. Now, the third important thing that we have to consider while changing your sentence from active to passive voice is your first form of pronoun and second form of it. Means, for example, in the active voice, any word is a sentence is started by pronoun I. So when we will convert that sentence into passive voice, that time we have to convert or we have to write that I in a second form, and second form of I is me. Second form of he is him. Then second form of she is her. Second form of it is it. Second form of we is us, and they will be converted in them. Okay. So in this way we have to convert your pronouns from first form to second form in active voice to passive voice. So now let's start the main session. That is, first of all, we will see the first type of today's session, that is present perfect tense. Present perfect tense. So first of all, what is present perfect tense? That we have to understand. In the session of types of tenses, we already have learned what is present perfect tense. So we will just take revision of it. Present perfect tense means whichever action we are going to do that we have already finished. Whatever action we have to do that we already finished or we have completed that action. So it's called perfect tense. So one example I have given, that is Ram has written a letter. Ram has written a letter means one boy is there and his name is Ram and he has written a letter means he started to write a letter and he already completed writing his letter. So now we will move to the format of this sentence. In this sentence, first of all, we have to identify its verb. Then I tell you how to identify your subject and object. So Ram has written a letter. In this sentence, your verb is written. This written is your verb, and this verb is already in your third form, means it is already in your past participle form. So keep in mind this thing, whenever in any sentence your verb is in your third form or in a past participle, that time that sentence is of perfect tense. So now we have to identify helping verb. So here helping verb is has. Has is your helping verb, written is your main verb, and now we have to identify what is subject and what is object. So, how I already told you how to identify subject and object. We have to ask a small question to your verb. What is that question? We have to ask question to your verb by who for identifying your subject. So just ask question to your verb. Verb is your written. So who has written a letter? Who has written a letter? Who has written letter? Ram. So this Ram is your subject. Then we have to identify object. Now that trick also I told you that day. Ask question to your verb by what. What has Ram written? What has Ram written? A letter. So we got subject, object, verb, and helping verb also. And we have to identify that this subject is from past perfect tense, present perfect tense, or future perfect tense. So I will tell you how to identify the past and future. Now we are seeing about present perfect tense. So this sentence is a present perfect tense because here the helping verb shows us that this sentence is a perfect tense. Okay, why? Because helping verb is has, and this has and have, these two helping verbs are used in the present tense. So this sentence is of present perfect tense. Okay, understood? So once you found your verb, subject, object in active voice, So it will be very easy for you to convert that sentence from active to passive voice. Now, let's move to your passive voice of the same sentence. So, every subtype is having one format or one structure. In that, you have to just put your words and you will get your final answer. For example, Ram has written a letter. This sentence we have to convert into passive voice. So one format I have already given under your sentence, that is, first of all, every time in passive voice your object comes first. Why? Because in passive voice we have to give attention, more attention to the object, or we have to just focus on the object. So first of all, object comes. So object is a letter. A letter is your object. Then next is your helping verb. Now, which helping verb has come? Ram has written a letter. In this sentence, which helping verb has come? Has. So, here, has, this helping verb will come. Then, been. This been indicates that this sentence is in perfect tense. So, in every sentence, you have to write been to indicate that this sentence is of perfect tense. So object plus helping verb plus been, a letter has been. Then past participle of your verb. This is the common thing in passive voice. In every passive voice, we have to write past participle of your verb. One good thing is that in the perfect tenses, you already get your past participle only. Means in the active voice only, your past participle is used. For example, in the active voice, Ram has written. This word is already in its past participle form, in the third form. So no need to convert this in past participle. Write your word as it is, written and by, and last is your object. By and last one is your subject, not object, it's subject. So your passive voice is in front of you. A letter has been written by Ram. A letter has been written by Ram. Okay? I hope you all understood. Then let's move to the second sentence, second example. He has played a football. He has played a football. In this sentence also, this sentence is of active voice. Why? Because in active voice, subject comes first, means the more attention is given to the subject. So he has played a football. Here your verb is played. Then identify your helping verb. Your helping verb is has. Now ask question to your verb, that who has played a football? Who has played a football? Who has played a football? He. So this he, this word is subject. Then ask question by what to your verb. What has he played? What has he played? A football. So this football is your object. Now we got all necessary words. We got subject, helping verb, verb, and object also. So now just put that all words at their place, proper places. First of all, we have to write object. So object is a football, a football. Then helping verb is has, a football has. Then this permanent word, that is been, and then past participle of verb, that is played, then by and him. Again, just keep attention towards this him. Here in the active voice, we have used pronoun, that is he. So in the previous slide only I told you, whenever any pronoun comes in your active voice, that time we have to convert this pronoun as in a second form. And so I have converted this he, this pronoun into him. So your sentence in the passive voice is, a football has been played by him. This is your passive voice. Always keep in mind that whenever we have to identify whether this sentence is in active voice or in a passive voice, that time just keep attention towards your subject. When subject come first, that time this sentence is of active voice. And when subject comes last or object comes first, that time that sentence is of passive voice. If you once you identified the type of voice and type of tense, then just put that all words in your structure in your format. You will get your correct answer. So this is the first subtype of your tense, that is present perfect tense. In the present perfect tense, has and has and have. These two helping verbs are used. So whenever in your any sentence, if has and have this helping verbs comes and past participle of your verb comes, so just close your eyes and identify that sentence is of present perfect tense, and then put that all sentences, all words in the proper format of passive voice. You will get your correct answer. So let's move to the next examples. Your third example is, he has read a book. He has read a book. Now again we have to identify verb. We have to identify verb. That which word is verb? Which word is verb? Can you tell me? Just unmute yourself and please tell me which word is verb. Okay. He has read a book. In this sentence, your verb is read and your helping verb is has. Your main verb is read. Actually, we pronounce it as a read also, but in perfect tense, this verb is pronounced as a past participle. So it is read. We will read it as a read. And has is your helping verb. So here has is used. So this sentence is of present perfect tense. Now just ask question to your main verb, that who has read a book? Who has read a book? So who has read a book? He. We got our subject. Then ask question to your verb, that what he has read? A book. So we got object also. So now just put all the words at their proper places. So whenever we have to convert your sentence from active to passive voice, first of all, your object comes first. So here your object is a book. So I have written a book, then helping verb, a book has been, has been, a book has been, then past participle of your verb, that is read. So your verb will come as it is. A book has been read by her. A book has been read by her. So here, instead of her, we have to use him because her is your second form of she. It's just a printing mistake, typing mistake. It should not be her, it should be him. So instead of her, we will use him. So he has read a book. A book has been read by him. So this is your passive voice. Then the second sentence is my mother has cut the vegetables. My mother has cut the vegetables. In this sentence also, first of all, we have to identify verb. Which word is used as a verb? Cut. So again, we have to identify our helping verb. Our helping verb is has. Has is your helping verb. Cut is your main verb. So just identify your subject. Which word is used as a subject in this sentence? Who has cut the vegetables? Just ask question to your verb. Who? Who has cut the vegetables? My mother. So my mother is your subject. Then what has my mother cut? What my mother has cut? The vegetables. My mother has cut the vegetables. So this is object. So once you got your object and subject, verb and helping verb, so it will be very easy to convert that sentence from active to passive voice. So your answer is the vegetables comes first because it is object. The vegetables has been. Just focus on this been, okay? In perfect tense, we have to use been, and in continuous tense, I'm just going back. The continuous tense. In continuous tense, we have to use being. What? Being. Why why I'm telling this difference between being and being? Because this always creates confusion in our mind that we have to use been or being. So been and being both are different words. Being and been, the pronunciation is slightly same, but we have to use been in perfect tense, means in present perfect tense, in past perfect tense, in future perfect tense. In passive voice, we have to use been. And this being, we have to use in continuous tense. So whenever we have to convert sentence from active to passive voice, that time we have to consider this been in a perfect tense and being in a your continuous tense. So the vegetables has been cut. Cut, cut. I just told you that some verbs never change in their any form of verb, means in first form, in second form, and in third form. In all three forms they remain same. So this cut is one of them. So the vegetables has been cut by my mother. My mother is subject. So you understood how to convert active voice to passive voice of present perfect tense? Someone reply, please. That yes, sir, we have understood or not. Okay, so I hope you understood the first subtype of today's session, that is present perfect tense. Then the next type of today's session is past perfect tense. Past perfect tense. Now, past perfect tense means what? That also we have studied. Past perfect tense means any action we have already done in the past. We have finished that action in the past. So, this past perfect tense is used whenever we have to say something that is completed in your past. So, just move to the active and passive voice of this past perfect tense. So, first example of your past perfect tense is, I have taken the same example so your doubts will be clear easily. Ram had written a letter. Ram had written a letter. In the present perfect tense, your sentence was Ram has written a letter. Here, I have given you sentence that is Ram had written a letter. Ram had written a letter. So, in this sentence, first of all, whenever we have to identify active or passive voice, just identify your verb first. So, here your verb is written and your helping verb is had. In past perfect tense, only one verb is mostly used, that is had. In present perfect tense, your helping verbs are used are have and has, and in the past perfect tense, your helping verb is had. So whenever in any sentence this had, this helping verb is used with the third form of your verb, so that sentence will be of past perfect tense. So we have identified the verb as well as helping verb. So now just ask question to your verb by who. Why? Because we have to identify subject. Who had written a letter? Who had written a letter? Ram. Ram had written a letter. We got subject. So Ram is your subject, had is your helping verb, written is your verb, main verb, and then ask question to your verb by what. What had Ram written? What had Ram written? A letter. So a letter is your object. So once you got your all important or necessary words, then we will keep that all words at their proper places in passive voice. So the format is in front of you only. In passive voice, first of all, we have to take object. So in this sentence, object is a letter. So I have written a letter, then helping verb plus been. So helping verb is had, been. I just told you why we use the been. Been is indicator of perfect tense. So, object plus helping verb plus been, later had been. Then past participle of your verb. In the active voice, already past participle is given. So, no need to convert it. Write it as it is. Written by Ram. Ram is your subject. So, your answer is ready. A letter had been written by Ram. Ram had written a letter. This is active voice, and we converted this active voice into passive voice. Your answer is a letter had been written by Ram. So whenever we have to convert sentence of past perfect tense from active to passive, that time This word will be same in every passive voice of your past perfect tense. Had been, had been, had been, had been. Just focus on this had been. We have to use had been in every passive voice of past perfect tense. Then your second sentence is second example. We will see now. He had played a football. He had played a football. Then again, we have to identify verb. Which word is your verb? Played. Played. And then your helping verb is had. So we have to identify now subject. Who had played a football? He. Who had played a football? He. So he, this word is your subject. Subject as well as it is used as a pronoun. Okay. So he had played a football. In this sentence, your subject is he. Then ask question to the verb by what. What had he played? What he had played? A football. So a football is your object. So we got subject, helping verb, verb as well as object also. Now just keep that all words at their places in the passive voice. First of all, object will come. So here object is a football had been. Before a minute only I told you that in every passive voice we have to use had been for past perfect tense. So a football had been played. Played is past participle of verb by him. Him. Why does we use him? Because this is second form of he. So we have used he at the place of we have used him at the place of him. Why? Because it is in the second form. We have to use second form of pronoun in passive voice. So your answer is a football had been played by him. So this is your answer. Then again, same sentences we will convert in passive voice but in past perfect tense. Third sentence is she had read a book. She had read a book. Now, in this sentence also, first of all, we have to identify verb. So, verb is read, and your helping verb is had. So, ask question to the verb: Who had who had read a book? Who had read a book? She had read a book. So, this is subject. She is subject. Had is helping verb. Read is verb. Then we have to identify object. What had she read? What had she read? She had read a book. So a book is your object. Understood? How to identify subject, object, and verb. Then just put that all words at their proper places. First of all, object will come. So your object is a book. A book had been read by her. A book had been read by her. A book is your object, had been. I just told you in every passive voice of past perfect tense, we have to use this had been. Then read is your past participle of read or read. Then by and her is second form of she. Okay, so this is your passive voice. Then Your next example is my mother had cut the vegetables. Same sentence I have taken, but I have just changed a slight thing, that is helping verb. And by this helping verb only, we come to know that this sentence is of active voice of past perfect tense. So here your verb is cut and your helping verb is had. So ask question to your verb by who. Who had cut the vegetables? My mother cut the vegetables. Then ask question by what to get your object. We got subject, that is my mother. Then we have to identify object. What had my mother cut? My mother had cut the vegetables. So you got your object. Okay. So just keep that all words at their proper places. You will get your sentence of passive voice. The vegetables had been cut by my mother. The vegetables had been cut by my mother. The vegetables had been cut by my mother. This is your sentence of passive voice. Okay? I hope you understood the second type also, that is past perfect tense. Then your third type is future perfect tense. Future perfect tense. The future perfect tense example is same, only some small changes are there. Here, first sentence is Ram will have written a letter. Same sentence is there. Ram will have written a letter means we can say it's about dreaming. Actually, that thing is not happen. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen, and it will finish in future only. So sentence in front of you, Ram will have written a letter. In this sentence, again, your subject is Ram will. Will, this helping verb indicates that this sentence is of future tense, and have indicates that this sentence is of perfect tense. Then return, this is your verb, and a letter, this is your object. How to identify subject and object? I already told you. Then Ram will have written a letter. In this sentence, your structure of sentence is first of all subject, then helping verb, then have, then verb, and then object. Then we have to convert this sentence of future perfect tense into passive voice. So first of all, your object will come. Which word is your object? A letter. Then helping verb plus have plus been, and that full group of these three words is will have been. In every future perfect tense, this will have been. This group of words we have to use every time. Will have been. This indicates passive voice of future perfect tense. A letter will have been written is your past participle, then by, then Ram. Ram is your subject. So, sentence of passive voice is a letter will have been written by Ram. Okay, let's move to the next sentence. He will have played a football. He will have played a football. Again, here your subject is he, will have is your helping verb, then played is your verb, a football is your object. Then convert this sentence into passive voice. A football. First of all, object will come. As usual, object will come first. A football, and the group of words that is compulsory we have to use, that is will have been, which indicates future perfect tense. A football will have been past participle of verb, that is played by him. Him is second form of he. Okay. So a football will have been played by him. A football will have been played by him. This sentence is of passive voice. Now just differentiate between past perfect tense and future perfect tense. In past perfect tense, we use had been in every sentence, had been. And in the future perfect tense, we use will have been in every sentence of passive voice. Okay. Then next examples, two examples are there in front of you. She will have read a book. She will have read a book. This will have, these words, these two helping verbs indicates that this sentence is of future perfect tense. Then your verb is read, your object is a book, and she is your subject. So she will have read a book. This sentence we can convert into passive voice in this way. A book, object comes first, so a book, then will have been. Will have been. Again, I'm telling will have been is compulsorily we have to use in future perfect tense as it indicates future perfect tense. So a book will have been read is past participle of your verb, main verb by her. Her is your subject. So helping verb we have to use will have, then been is your perfect tense. So your active to passive voice is a book will have been read by her. The next sentence is my mother will have cut the vegetables. Again, this will have, this word indicates that this sentence is of future perfect tense. Then cut is your verb, the vegetables is your object, and subject is my mother. Now just convert this sentence into passive voice. First of all, the object will come, the vegetables will have been cut by my mother. Subject comes last. Sometimes in passive voice, subject, no need to write subject also, but here we will write the vegetables will have cut by my mother. So this is your sentence from active to passive voice. So today we completed the main uh, three types of perfect tense, that is present perfect tense, past perfect tense, and future perfect tense. So just some questions I have given you for evaluation. First sentence is my farmer has driven a tractor. Farmer has driven a tractor. So can you tell me how this sentence will be converted into passive voice? Anyone from you, please tell me. Okay. Farmer has driven a tractor. In this sentence, first of all, we have to identify verb. Your verb is driven. Then helping verb is has. Then ask question to your verb. Who has driven a tractor? Farmer. So farmer is your subject. Then what has farmer driven? A tractor. So tractor is your object. So this sentence we can convert into passive voice as a tractor has been driven by farmer. This will be your passive voice. Then in the second sentence, you had eaten a sandwich. You had eaten a sandwich. You had eaten a sandwich. In this sentence also, first of all, identify your verb, and your verb is eaten. And then your helping verb is had. Now this had indicates that this sentence is of past perfect tense. So who had eaten a sandwich? You. So you, this word is subject. What had you eaten? A sandwich. So a sandwich is your object. So you had eaten a sandwich. This active voice will be converted into passive voice as a sandwich had been eaten by you. Okay. Then your third sentence is, first of all, we have to identify which tense it is. Third sentence is Satish will have found the book. Now here will have. Will, this helping verb is used, so this sentence is of future tense, means future perfect tense. Then identify your verb. Verb is found. So ask question to verb by who. Who who will have found the book? Satish. So Satish is subject. Then ask question to verb by what. What Satish will have found? The book. So now again keep all the words at their proper places in passive voice. Your passive voice of this sentence will be the book will have been found by Satish. Okay. And then last sentence is Ram had killed the Ravan. Here, killed is your verb, had is your helping verb. This had indicates that this sentence is of past perfect tense. Had is your helping verb. Then, who had killed the Ravan? Ram. So, Ram is your subject. What had Ram killed? The Ravan. So, Ravan is your object. Again, convert this sentence into passive voice. How will we convert? First of all, take your object. The Ravan had been killed by Ram. The Ravan had been killed by Ram. So, these were some examples for evaluation, and I hope you understood how to identify active voice of present perfect tense, past perfect tense, and future perfect tense into passive voice. So one small homework I would like to give you, that is write sentences in active and passive voice of the following types of tenses. At least write five sentences in passive voice, five sentences in active voice. So three types are there. First is present perfect tense, second is past perfect tense, third is future perfect tense. So write down five sentences of each in active as well as in passive voice. So I hope you all understood the three main types of present perfect and past perfect and future perfect tense. So we have finished in the three sessions active to passive voice, that is simple present tense, simple past tense, simple future tense. Then in the second session we have learned about present continuous tense, past continuous tense, future continuous tense, and in this current situation, in this current session, we have learned about the present perfect tense, past perfect tense, and future perfect tense. So I hope you enjoyed my session a lot. Thank you so much for joining my class.